We're here inside the interior of the Nova, and it's time to address the inside and the underside of the floor. Now, if you haven't seen the video, the passenger side, you hear that? No, there's no hole anymore. That's straight up metal. The passenger side and the driver's side have been replaced. Tyler came over and we absolutely knocked it out of the park. He did the passenger side, I did the driver's side. It was a great experience. If you haven't seen that video, I'll throw it up here. Watch it after this one. Now, the second thing we're going to do is seam seal. We're going to paint first and get everything ready, then we're going to seam seal second. And then from there, on a different video, which I still need to order the carpet and the jute padding, that's when the interior will basically be complete. What we're going to do first, we're going to put some self-etching primer black on that passenger side, since it's a raw metal. And I am a huge fan of the Eastwood pre-spray. Wow, pre-spray that they use. I am going to be using the pre-spray on everything in the interior. Now, the underside, I probably won't share too much on the underside. It's super greasy under there. I'm going to be using a mixture of carb cleaner. I bought some plastic scrapers. You know, I got some towels. I got some microfibers I can scrub really good. Ooh, sorry about that. It's pretty humid today here in the Midwest. And then, of course, before I paint anything, I'll hit it with pre a couple times. And if I run out of pre, you know, I have some acetone and stuff that I can always prep with. And so, but anyway, on the underside, we're going to be using the rust encapsulator on a couple spots. And I got a ton of chassis black. I got 2 cans. So we'll be spraying a little bit, and we'll also be painting a little bit. This stuff paints on really, really smooth. On my dad's old 78 Ford, I used the rust encapsulator and the chassis black. And 7 years later, the underside of the bed, the frame, the suspension components, everything held up great. So that's why I'm a huge supporter of Eastwood products. But I didn't plan ahead well enough. I'm not going to have enough Eastwood products to do the interior. So I hit up Tyler, and he said, man, this Majic paint right here, this tractor truck and implement paint is absolutely amazing. And so basically what I'll do is we're going to prep the inside with the rust encapsulator in a couple spots. You know, we're gonna go. It's been since February since we welded these in, so we got a little bit of surface rust. You know, I'll hit that with the wire wheel, and we're gonna paint. This stuff paints on super, super smooth. I did the floor in the Nova actually in it, and so we're gonna paint some of that on our surface rust. We got a couple of light areas, and then from there we're gonna hit it with this tractor implement paint. You know, I've seen some of his work that he's done with this. And it looks absolutely phenomenal. He says it holds up great on undersides and in interiors. So he's been doing it a long time. I'm going to take his word for it. And he says it goes on super, super thick. He advised either using a foam brush or a paint gun. Since we don't have a paint gun, we're just going to use a foam brush, you know. And on this Eastwood stuff, I like to normally use a brush, but it's very, very hard on the brushes, and so the last time I used it, I didn't clean it well enough, and so today I'm just going to be using a foam brush on it too. You can go either way. Like I said, it goes on super, super smooth. Tyler did say if you use a brush on this Majic stuff, I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's M-A-J-I-C at Tractor Supply. That it goes on so thick that if you brush it on with a paintbrush, you will see the paint lines in it. So that's the plan on the Nova floors. I know someone in the comments is going to say, you know, I did this wrong, but trust me, it's going to be way better than what it was before. It's going to, you know, it's going to treat the little bit of surface rust that we have, and we're not going to have any issues out of these floors in my lifetime or the next generation's lifetime probably, because everything will be sealed. And then once we do all that and everything dries, we'll go back in here and seam seal everything, and everything will be ready to go. So enough yakking, let's get to work. It's pretty dark in here, but here's the current state of the floors. I got my aperture light right there. It's going to show you guys where we're going to seam seal. But over here is where we're going to use the rust encapsulator first. It's got a little bit of light surface rust. I already wire brushed this a few times, so it's just coming back because it's been sitting for a couple months is all. So probably going to hit that with a wire brush again. Let's throw some rust encapsulator on it. Now this passenger side is one I did back in August. As you can see from the footprints, this has definitely had some feet on it, but it's held up great. I like the flat black rust encapsulator. Now this is the only pan, aftermarket wise, that didn't come with some paint on it. And right here is where we broke the factory seam seal. And so from there, I'm just going to seam seal all the way down. And then from there, we can start doing our paint action. And I'll probably do the same thing underneath the car as well. Won't show that because it's going to be super tight. But As you can see here, I'll put some rust encapsulator along the welds, get that all nice and done. This stuff evaporates really quick, so you definitely gotta be on your game. Check that out. Look at all that stuff. This stuff definitely works great as far as prepping for paint. I've been using it for a few years, and of course you can also use, there's different forms that you can use that are a lot cheaper, but it's also just nice to order everything at Eastwood, and just, you know, everything comes in, you just get to work. I think it laid down really nice. I'm really surprised on how well it laid down compared to just regular spray paint. Of course, this is self-etching. Now, it does say on the back to allow 2 hours before top coating. So I'm going to wait until roughly 2 hours, like it says, until we put the rust encapsulator on. I'm going to brush the rust encapsulator on. Like I said, we're just spot treating the surface rust. Then we'll come back and paint the whole floor here in a second. And I'm about done with this brush. Alright, I'm going to sand everything with a red Scotch-Brite. Just get a nice pattern, you know, just get a nice scuff pattern going. That way the tractor implement paint will have something to bond to. And then from there we'll start laying some paint. Go, one coat of the tractor implement paint from Tractor Supply. This is gonna take a while. This stuff goes on super thick. Since it's so thick, it should go on pretty smooth. Here, check this out. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. See how thick that goes on? Nice heavy coat. I'm really excited to see what this actually looks like when it's all done. This man sure is laying down smooth. It's going to be nice to have the peace of mind knowing that these floors are going to be in good shape for the long haul, instead of having to worry about, you know, potential rust and stuff like that. So whew, my arm is getting tired. It is so hot today. Man, it's humid out here, but I really want to get this done, so I'm going to keep going, blistering through it. It's pretty dark in here. I don't even know if you guys can see this, but I will definitely show you after it's all dry before we seam seal it. So I got a lot of work. I got a lot of work to do. I'm not going to make you guys watch paint dry. So I'll be right back after everything's applied and it's dried, and we can go over how it looks, and then we can start seam sealing. Oh, hello. It's been a while, but actually I got everything done inside. Figured you guys didn't want to watch me seam seal for, you know, however long it took. So I'll go ahead and show you the inside real quick. And I actually already got the undercarriage all painted up. So the under the car, the floors are all done. It was quite a challenge because, you know, laying on your back on a creeper, painting above you with paint falling, ugh. It was took a little bit of a learning curve, but everything turned out great. So let's show you the inside, and I need a seam seal underneath still. And the thing about this Eastwood seam sealer is that it really is kind of a one use, because this cardboard is kind of cheap, and so I had a quarter left, but when I went to reuse it, it actually dried on the caulk gun, you know, on the actual rod and everything. So really, seam sealer works great. The tube quality, not that great. I'll show you the inside. Come on. Here is the floors and the interior. Got everything done, seam sealed, painted. Actually, it turned out a lot better than I thought it would. And so I went ahead and ordered the carpet. I went with the some ACC black carpet. And this car originally had a black vinyl floor, but they didn't really make a replacement. They do make a replacement floor, but it had horrible reviews. So I decided just to throw some carpet back in it. Thanks everyone for watching Autofaze. I'm T. Brand. We get the seam sealing underneath the car. After that, I will be all done. Move on to the next phase of the Nova. We'll see you on the next one.